Citi News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umar Rusanda Amadu, and tonight I'm here with
Ejubi Wiafe Akintin.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes, government drops case against another high-profile NDC member. This time, it's former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufour, whose case related to the banking sector cleanup, who walks home free. Also, coming up, in a bid to further strengthen the cedi, Bank of Ghana orders shipping lines to publish foreign exchange rates daily. We'll tell you how that helps the economy. And later on Eyewitness News, Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu leads a team of government officers to demolish houses on Ramsar site at Sakumo. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Mining companies sell more than 350,000 ounces of gold to BLG to support city stability.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including in the Northeast region on Nobia 98.1 FM in Nalerugu, in Upper East on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, in Northern region on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In Sogakopa in the Volta region, we are on Freedom 88.1 FM, as well as in Hohwe on Heritage 107.3 FM. In Nkawia in the Ashanti region, we are on Adwinpa FM 99.9. If you go to the Bono region, we are in Sunyani, the capital of Agrina, 95.9 FM. In Takrady, the Western regional capital, we are on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM. We are live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Just look for the Citi FM handle. You can also send your messages to the show by going on WhatsApp and sending messages to 0549 986 996, 0549 986 996, or go on Twitter, now known as X, and send your messages by mentioning at Umar Rusanda or at Citi973. We start off from the Attorney General's office, and there's an announcement coming through. AJB.
The Attorney General's office has formally discontinued the prosecution of former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufour and 7 others who were on trial over alleged financial improprieties during Ghana's financial sector cleanup. So
this, of course, is one of the major cases that was against an official of the NDC when the Akufo-Addo administration was in office. He and several others were brought to court and charged with a number of offenses in relation to the banking sector cleanup. Today, the Attorney General issued a statement on his official letterhead and signed by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Sremsai. It reads nulli prosequa, and it says the Republic versus Kwabena Dufour and 7. The case number has been cited, which started in the year 2020. The statement reads, the Honorable Attorney General has today entered in nulli prosequa in the case of the Republic versus Kwabena Dufour and 7 others. While the exercise of this prosecutorial discretion requires no explanation under law, the Attorney General, in the spirit of accountability and transparency, considers it appropriate to provide the public with the rationale behind this decision. 1. As may be recalled, the Republic versus Kwabena Dufour and 7 others case formed part of a broader set of prosecutions arising out of the financial sector cleanup exercise which the state has been undertaking since the year 2018. The central objective of these prosecutions has been to A. Ensure accountability for public funds and, more importantly, B. Recover losses occasioned to the state through various alleged acts of financial impropriety. In pursuit of this objective, the Office of the Attorney General, in collaboration with other relevant state agencies, established a threshold of 60% recovery of the alleged losses to the state as a condition for reconsidering prosecution in specific cases. Following prolonged negotiations and engagements, the accused persons in the Republic versus Kwabena Dufour and 7 others have met this recovery threshold. Accordingly, in furtherance of public interest and considering the significant recoveries made for the state, the Honorable Attorney General has satisfied himself that continuing with the prosecution will not serve any additional public purpose. This decision, however, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing nor a vindication of any conduct. It is a pragmatic step in line with the overarching national interest of recovering state resources. The Honorable Attorney General remains resolute in his commitment to upholding the rule of law, protecting the public purse, and pursuing justice in all matters of national importance. Thank you. Signed, Honorable Dr. Justice Stremsai, Deputy Attorney General. What do you make of this? Send us a message 0549 986 996. Honorable Hassan Tampuli is Deputy Ranking Member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, and he's the NPP Member of Parliament representing the people of Gusau in the Northern Region. He's a lawyer. He's joined us on the line. So, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Sanda.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm well, alhamdulillah. I hope you are good too.
Alhamdulillah too. As a lawyer, I'm sure nullifies prosecutor is something you really know a lot about, and the Attorney General really owes no one an explanation if he or she enters nullifies prosecutor. But in this instance, the Attorney General has decided to announce to the nation and indeed to the world that they have withdrawn the charges, and this is why they have withdrawn the charges, or they have actually not withdrawn, but they have decided not to continue with prosecution, and this is the reason. What do you make of it as a lawyer?
I think that first of all, I would say good evening to your listeners, and then to mention that the power of the Attorney General to control proceedings, criminal proceedings, is very well established in law. And the Attorney General can anytime during the proceedings withdraw for the prosecutor. As we saw that sometime in February, the Roman Attorney General had filed a string of withdrawals to discontinue with prosecutions, and so there's one of these cases that was also withdrawn at the time, and I think it's one of these Governor Dufour cases, if my memory serves me right. So this probably is the only remaining one that has also been discontinued. Now, we find this very, very, very worrying indeed, especially coming from the background where we have what we call Operation Recover All Loots, oral. Now, what we are seeing today appears to be something akin to Operation Clear All Loots. Now, it's very, very worrying that a government has come into power, and one of the major things that the Attorney General does is to clear every former appointee who has committed one wrong or the other and has been undergoing prosecution. It's very, very worrying. What it means is that prosecutions are going to be coterminous. So when you come to power, you bring your own set of people that you want to prosecute. And anyone who is associated with the regime is who have committed any crime. Now that is a very dangerous thing to do. The Attorney General is not just the Attorney General, is the Minister for Justice. On this occasion, we are seeing something close to the Minister of Injustice in the work that the Attorney General is doing. Now, if we give this opportunity to political appointees, then it starts to reason that there are many, many, many more people who are currently undergoing such prosecution. Common people, common Ghanaians, who do not have any gravitas. They don't belong to the political class. What are we telling them? All the people who queue to vote for us, we are telling them that the political class are a different category of people who cannot be touched. But what happened to Odo Mensah, who is currently undergoing some trial for stealing 100 Ghana cedis? Why don't you allow him to pay the 100 cedis back? If this opportunity is available, why don't we give it to every other Ghanaian? Why is it being made available only to the political class? Now, there is a danger ahead of us. Ghanaians are watching. Ghanaians are wise. Ghanaians are sensible. Really, we are sending a certain message to Ghanaians. And I think this is very, very worrying indeed. Because if we proceed along this line, one day, both MPP and DC, there will be a revolt against all of us. Because we are taking the people for granted. Taking the people for granted. Now, how do you justify why you will be withdrawing cases against some group of people and currently processing some other people for trial?
We do know that
trying to tell the Ghanaian people.
We do know that
the Ghanaian people.
The Attorney General has that prerogative under the Constitution, and it will not be the first time that this is being exercised. If it was done in the past and you had no difficulty with it, and it's a prerogative, and in fact the Attorney General really owes us no explanation, but this one has been generous enough to tell us why he did what he did. Why are you picking and choosing when you did not complain in the past?
As a matter of fact, what the Attorney General did is very, very commendable. To have given reasons, why he's filing, non-profit prosecutor in respect of this particular case. And we have argued, and some of us have argued in the past, that having regard to the fact that Attorney General is exercising his discretion, we think that the provision of Article 296, which governs the exercise of the discretionary power, should apply, so that reasons or guidelines will be provided. So what the Attorney General has done is highly commendable, as far as I'm concerned. Now, that is also not to say that because he has given reason, we lose our rights to question the decision that Attorney General has made. What it is, is that the Attorney General can give any reason, and it doesn't have to make sense or not. You see what I'm saying? But now, when the Attorney General gives a reason, then we now have to interrogate those reasons as well. And that is what I'm saying, that if there is room for people who are undergoing trial for whatever criminal offenses that relate to stealing of state resources and all of that, and they are willing to pay 60%, then it shouldn't be available to only Dufour and the 7 others. It should apply to any other person. And in this case, those who have also come under the same category of people, including Atuesian and co, should be given that opportunity. And other common criminals who are languishing in jails across the country should be told that come pay 60% of whatever it is that you are deemed to have stolen, and then we'll let you go home.
But we already have that, don't we? The plea bargain acts and all
the plea bargain act is there, but has it been available to everybody?
I'm sure it is, based on what the law states. But my question to you really would be, the Attorney General's justification is that the point of prosecution in this particular case was two. One, the first point is to ensure accountability for public funds. And two, which the Attorney General is the most important, says is to recover losses occasioned to the state through various alleged acts of financial impropriety. In fact, a lot of critics of our adversarial system of justice would say to you that what is the point of sending someone to jail? What we really get as a state? If you went to report to the police that Kofi has stolen your mangoes and you have Kofi arrested and prosecuted and sent to jail, it does not mean you have not lost your mangoes. So if the Republic of Ghana has lost so much money, Kwabena Dufour is the one who allegedly caused that loss, and he has decided to pay back the money. Which one benefits us the more? Give us back our money, or go to Sawan for 10 years, or for 5 years, or for 17 years?
I support, the position that we should, as much as possible, apply our laws in a manner that will be beneficial to the state. In other words, if there are means and ways of recovering any perceived, resources that have been taken away from the state, we should take it back, instead of relying on custodial sentences. I think that policy decision, I'm in support of it. You understand? But much as I'm in support of it, I do not want it to be limited to the political class. Otherwise, we'll become endangered species. We'll become endangered species. The Attorney General should publish any other persons who have benefited from this particular, exercise of this his powers under the Plea Bargain Act. Now, what I'm not too clear about from the Attorney General statement is whether or not this amounts to a conviction. It is silent. By the law, it amounts to conviction, but what the Attorney General has released is a bit silent on that one. This decision, however, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing nor vindication of any conduct. It is a pragmatic step in line. I was thinking that our Attorney General would have included in the statement, maybe paragraph 7, that in doing this, it has to be emphasized that the accused persons remain convicted by virtue of this, plea bargain that is being applied to them. That would have sent, clarify the points, for Ghanaians. But what I'm saying is that Attorney General has the power to internally prosecute at any time, and he doesn't owe anybody any responsibility to tell us why he's entering into that. But it is dangerous that the Attorney General has come into office and he has chosen to discontinue trial of almost every person who is associated with the NDC.
They should
Attorney General periodically would come and grant press conferences and indicate how he's going to put another set of political people, through the courts. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. So if you are NDC, you cannot be seen to be committing an offense. Even if the evidence is overwhelming, you have to go home and rest so that another set of political class will start. I mean, this is very, very dangerous.
But they will retort and say they are the same people when they were in government put their people before court, which people went to jail. For instance, Abu Gapele, your former, I'm not sure you were in parliament by then, former MP for, it escaped me, but yeah, former MP and former CEO of the
I think he was member of parliament for China Paga.
Thank you so much. And former CEO of the JIDA at the time, they put him before court. They put other people from their party in court, and that these people were convicted and sentenced. So they would say to you that no, you cannot accuse them of freeing their own because they have a track record of jailing their own. You, on the other side, are yet to prove that you have jailed any of your own.
So that means that there is justification to do that because you have put Abu Gapele, in jail before. So there's every justification to withdraw, charges against any other person in the future. And so that means that at what stage can anybody from the NDC become a subject of trial? Well, we have done it in the past, so we are good. We have ticked that box. I think no 2 cases are the same to start with.
Okay.
And the evidence available to the Attorney General, I believe, in this particular matter, was the same evidence that was available to the Attorney General in the case of Atu Isien and the others. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
This offense is flowing from a similar transaction.
But don't forget that don't forget that Atu Isien was given the option of paying back to the state under your government, but he failed, and your Attorney General decided he was not taking the state seriously and had to go.
What I'm saying is that we should avail any other person. If this is the order of the day, then it should be available to every Ghanaian, including the common criminal,
okay,
the petty thieves. Everybody should be available this opportunity.
One last question.
And
an NDC member has sent me a message. His name is Stephen. He says 8 years in power with quote and unquote overwhelming evidence, the MPP couldn't secure convictions. So what's the point of continuing prosecution, he says?
not all the cases started in 2017. Different cases started at different times. Some cases started, and at some point, due to the absence of judges and so on and so on, and the retirement of judges, they had to start de novo. So you can't say that 8 years, no conviction couldn't, hadn't been made. That is wrong. In any event, we are justice, the rules of justice run slowly. There's no need for us to fast track and jail an innocent person. We need to give the person adequate opportunity to go through a fair trial. So if you come around and say that 8 years was long enough, no. The accused person has every right to raise considerable doubt in the trial or in the case of the prosecution in order to be able to vindicate his rights.
Very well.
What justice is not for you to fast track people and then push them. This is not the kangaroo courts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you have to take the person through legally accepted processes under the Criminal Proceedings Act.
Okay.
And then you can, at the end of the day, say that you did what you had to do. Attorney General's work is not to just convict people, but it's also to do justice to every case that comes before the Attorney General.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's Honorable Hassan Tampuli. He's a former Deputy Minister of State. He's NPP Member of Parliament for Gusau, and he is Deputy Ranking Member on the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. What else do we have from the court, CGB?
The Supreme Court has nullified a 2020 bench warrant issued by Justice Eric Balfour against US-based Ghanaian broadcaster Kevin Taylor, citing fundamental procedural errors that rendered the order invalid. In a 4-1 majority decision, the Apex Court ruled that the warrant linked to a contempt case dormant for years was flawed from inception. The ruling marks a significant legal development in a case that recently resurfaced amid renewed political interest and speculation about Mr. Taylor's alleged presence in Ghana. Kevin Taylor was present in court for the ruling, ending days of uncertainty over whether he had re-entered the country. Addressing the media, Lead counsel Peter Okujeto welcomed the decision, stating that the ruling reaffirms the legal principle that a flawed judicial decision can be challenged at any time.
We are happy to have that decision, and our client is now a free man.
There was an issue about why it took you that long time before eventually having this done today.
Yeah, the authorities are clear that when the decision is a nullity, it can be quashed anytime. So there's even a case of Cable Metal versus Barclays Bank, where the decision was quashed 9 years on.
Peter Okujeto is lawyer for Kevin Taylor.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Massa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Oh, Jopana! Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. better. And what they boss my mind self be the 3-in-1 action no. Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open it.
So where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a full the gobe too small.
Go!
And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Life doesn't always go as planned. Maybe you dreamed of earning a degree, but something got in the way. Losing a parent, financial struggles, or life just happening. But what if I told you it's not too late? At Cracks Training Institute, we believe in second chances. With the ABE Level 6 program, your dreams are back within reach. If you hold an HND or a 2-year diploma and have valuable work experience, this is your opportunity. The ABE Level 6 is recognized by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, and equivalent to a bachelor's degree. But that's not all. It also qualifies you to enroll in any university in Ghana for a master's degree. And here's the good news. Admissions start this August. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. Take the first step towards rewriting your story. Call us today at Cracks Training Institute on 0552 222217, 0552 222217, or visit cracks.edu.gh.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Now to some more stories. Speaker of Parliament Alban Babin has sworn in Irabna Oben as the Member of Parliament for Ablikuma North. Oben secured victory after the Electoral Commission conducted a rerun in 19 polling stations. The initial December 2024 contest ended in a stalemate following allegations of irregularities and the submission of unauthenticated pink sheets, which led the EC to withhold a final declaration. In the rerun, NDC's Irabna Oben polled 34,090 votes, while NPP's Ikua Ifriye garnered 33,881. Ahead of the swearing-in, the Minority Caucus staged a walkout, and here is Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre.
Order 5 is not in ambiguity, it's clear. And those powers of the Speaker cannot be challenged by the Majority Leader. Speaker, I seek your leave to make a plenary comment, and then I think we can go ahead and do the swearing-in. Speaker, I'm at your discretion, and I seek your blessing as the father of this house to give me the opportunity to make a short comment.
Honorable members, the Minority Chief Whip, on behalf of the minority, has given notice that they have something to say. And so that will be said after I have sworn in the candidate.
I'm very sorry, and I say this a lot of difficulty, that if that is the turn of event, then we in the minority, for the records, cannot be part of the swearing.
You heard Speaker of Parliament Alban Babin earlier and Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre. Now, Parliament has passed the Ghana Medical Trust Fund Bill 2025, also known as the Mahama Cares Program, to establish a dedicated trust fund to support specialized medical care for chronic conditions such as cancer, stroke, kidney failure, and diabetes. The Minority Caucus, during a debate on the Health Committee's report on the bill, raised concerns about the allocation of 20% funds from the National Health Insurance Scheme to finance the operations of the trust fund, arguing that it will cripple the NHIS.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let me bring some of your reactions to the story to be bringing you tonight. The lead one being the Attorney General's decision to file a nullifies prosecutor in the case involving former Finance Minister, former BOG boss, Dr. Dufour. Now, Baba Chairman is furious and writing from Tamale And he says today marks the beginning of a dark day, or the beginning of dark days in the justice delivery process. Justice has been rendered a very useless commodity in Ghana today, considering what happened at the Supreme Court today. This decision by the SC unfortunately would open the floodgates for people to malign these same justices without any provocation. So he's referring to that contempt case against Kelvin Taylor, I presume. Abi National in WA says, this tells you that they did nothing and were sent to court. The truth is now out. Akapol Jr. and Hafomim says it is about time the good people of the country spoke against the rate at which this government is withdrawing cases against members of its party. Their silence may run the country into legal quagmire if Ghanaians fail to stand against it. Al-Hassan Hamdan in Nyoini South says this decision is legally sound and financially rational, but it must be accompanied by robust public education and transparency on the recoveries. Justice isn't only about prosecutions, it's about outcomes. However, justice must also be seen to be done. You can also send your message 0549 986 996. Wedam has sent his own from Navrongo Bonia, and he says, I think this is the right decision for the Attorney General to discontinue with the case. There wasn't enough evidence for prosecution. It was such a political target. Joya Bright in Nottinghamshire says, the Attorney General should not be discontinuing cases. If people have done wrong, let them be punished and resources should be retrieved. The only good news is that the MPP has been reduced to a micro minority with a historic swearing in of the youngest MP in Ghana's parliament. Abutia Teti in the Volta region is where this message is coming from, and it should be Aibe Esther. And it says, supporting the Attorney General's decision to drop cases against Kwabena Dufour and 7 others from the 2018 financial cleanup. These actions should be viewed beyond political lenses, focusing on genuine accountability and progress. Let's go to some other stories now. And the Bank of Ghana has directed all shipping companies, terminal operators and freight forwarders and other port service providers to publish the daily exchange rates they use for billing, either on their websites or at their premises, and communicate these rates to customers before invoicing. This directive is part of new guidelines on the exchange rate application in Ghana's shipping industry to enhance transparency and consistency. According to the guidelines, each invoice must also state the currency of the service, the applied exchange rate, the date of application, and the final amount in either Ghana cedis or US dollars. The Bank of Ghana stressed that the exchange rate used for invoicing must be market reflective and not arbitrarily determined. This is expected to address complaints from importers and exporters about unclear and varying exchange rates applied by different shipping service providers. So how do the people in the freight sector react to this? Dennis Amfosefa is president of the Chamber of Freight Forwarders and Traders. Mr. Sefa, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, ma'am.
This announcement from the Bank of Ghana, I believe by now should have gotten to you. It appears that what was happening there is too confusing and cumbersome. The BOG wants to streamline things. Is that welcome news for you, or there are some challenges?
Well, it's a welcoming news. Over the years we have advocated for this, and we strongly commend the government for this bold step. It is important that if government really want to reduce the cost of doing business, port operators, shipping lines, terminal operators are all part of the port community, and hence if government is putting in the right policies to check the exchange rates and its fluctuation, it must equally reflect on the exchange rate that other port operators and vendors use for calculating of services and other service charge. We have gone back and forth with the shipping line and the operators on these issues for a number of years. We would also want to say a big thank you for the Shippers Authority, who seems to be stamping its authority on some of these matters. We would also want government to go a step further, that yes, even though you are directing these lines and vendors within the port community to display their exchange rates, we would wish they would enforce that their exchange rate will be between the market limits, so that it's not going to be an arbitrary rate. It should be within either the interbank rate that has been set by the Bank of Ghana or among commercial banks within the country. So for us in the industry, we think that this will go a long way to at least make importers and exporters know exactly at which rate or what rate every shipping line is using, and will also inform the choice of line that an importer or an exporter would want to contract to carry its cargo. So we thank government and we thank the Bank of Ghana that at least our cry has been heard and a step has been taken.
Now, the issue with the daily rates, I guess the difficulty would be with the unpredictability of our foreign exchange, the exchange rate. Is that so predictable to the extent that we can have daily publications?
You see, if we are able even to align or synchronize with what pertains in our industry when it comes to the exchange rate that is being used by the GRA Customs Division, which is published weekly, because every Tuesday, immediately the Bank of Ghana rate comes out on a Monday. That rate is used for the entire week until the following week. So even if they cannot publish daily rates, and they can publish weekly rates as is being done by customs, it helps importers and exporters to manage and calculate their tax obligations beforehand. Over the years, we have also asked government, if even possible, just for the import and export community, the freight industry, if we can use 6 months or an annual rate for import duty calculation, which would go a long way to help importers. That it makes planning easier, it makes loan and other facilities that importers and exporters assess before their cargo gets into this country. You can plan and then you can know how much you are supposed to raise to pay the duties and taxes in time than its current weekly publication. But at least a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a footstep, and this is a step in the right direction, and we are hoping that government will do more to sanitize the port industry and get the cost of doing business coming down furthermore. Overall,
the city stands to benefit from this?
Exactly. You see, when you know your tax liabilities before cargo gets into this country, you can plan. And if you are able to plan and get all the liabilities ready before the arrival of cargo, it makes clearing easier to, if each importer or exporter knows the exact exchange rate that is being used by the various shipping lines, you then determine which line you want to use, because the lower the rate, or if the rate is in sync with the rate that is being used by the interbank or published by the Bank of Ghana, it means the liabilities or the service fees that you're going to pay to that shipping line cheaper than another line which has a higher rate. So it will help importers and exporters to plan and to choose which carrier or which line they contract to carry their cargo. So at the end of the business, the ordinary Ghanaian or whoever is buying from the market is going to benefit, because if the cost of doing business in the port comes down or gets reduced, it means that the price of products on the market will also come down.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, man. You're welcome.
That's Dennis Amfo Sefa, his president of the Chamber of Freight Forwarders and Traders. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Omar Sandamad here with the Jubi Wiafi Akentin. When we come back, we'll take you to Sakumo, where today government deployed bulldozers to pull down huge mansions that were put up on the Ramsar site. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the city mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a low teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, with the one for you. Oh, jump on the go. Ugomi, I want time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind says be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there. So where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast they rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside? I give you info. Make a full the Gobe too small. Go! And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Well, quite rightly. Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma. The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. We take you now to Sakumo in the Greater Accra region, specifically the Tema West municipality, and some developments there. Ejubi.
Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu says residents affected by the demolition of structures at the Sakumo Ramsar site were given adequate notice, stressing that 2 months is sufficient time for them to vacate the area. Her remarks follow the resumption of demolition exercises targeting unauthorized buildings on protected Ramsar lands in Sakumo, Klagon and Tema. Speaking to Citi News, Charles Owusu Kumi, Minister Oklu reiterated that affected residents had ample time to relocate and were directed to channel grievances through the appropriate authorities.
So far so good, because all the buildings that were demolished, we've not seen any building, any structure being raised again. So far so good. What we want to do is that end the exercise, because we have some couple of buildings to demolish. So when we are done with them, and then we can take care of the debris. That is what we intend doing, and then we'll hand over the place to forestry to green the entire place for us.
Okay. The president has been very, very insistent on the demolition of these structures. Following the last one that happened here 2 months ago, have you engaged the president, and what is the kind of conversation you've had?
We engaged him before coming here, and so the fact that we are here doesn't mean that we've not engaged the president. I mean, we wouldn't come here if he's not in support. I mean, trust me, we are resetting the country, and all these things are part of the resetting agenda. And so we want to make sure that I even heard someone saying that this time around, I mean, when it's rained, the flood, there wasn't so many, flood in certain areas. And I say yes, it's because of the demolition exercise that is ongoing. The fact that people doesn't see it on telly doesn't mean that there is no demolition exercise ongoing. NADMO is also, handling part of the district, the constituency. So for the past few weeks, there has been some demolition exercise. Just that, the publicity wasn't there, so people are not aware that there are ongoing demolition. But there are ongoing demolition.
So, in your estimation, what you've done here in the past few months is having an impact?
Oh yes, it's having an impact, yes.
Finally, before you go, I have seen some bystanders. I engaged them briefly. They told me that they have some property here. Has anyone approached you for clemency?
In fact, the last time we came, we said any concerns should be channeled to the MCE, and so we'll come back to make sure that the remaining structures will be done. You can attest to the fact that the last time we're here and this time it's been 2 months now. So 2 months is enough for them, whatever properties they have or whatever they have in their buildings. It should be off so that we can demolish the site.
Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu. Now, Minister for Government Communications Felix Kwakye-Ofosu has explained that the delay in prosecuting individuals implicated in the National Cathedral scandal is due to the need for a forensic audit. There has been growing public pressure for accountability in the handling of funds allocated to the stalled project. Speaking to Citi News, Mr. Kwakye-Ofosu noted that while reports of financial mismanagement have surfaced, concrete legal action can only be followed by a comprehensive forensic investigation.
The remit of the audit report is such that Deloitte could not have pointed accusing fingers. So what they did was to establish facts that, for instance, this law had been breached, that law had been breached, this amount is unaccounted for, and what have you. It is a forensic audit that would then delve into how those breaches were occasioned or whose responsibility it was that the irregularities were recorded. And these are vastly experienced people at the National Cathedral Secretariat. Indeed, some of them have supervised mega projects in their own churches, and so they should be aware clearly how these things happen. Again, how can a member of parliament, for instance, the Honorable Kennedy Osenyako, who has been around for quite some time, and I'm sure has seen an audit report or two, come to the conclusion that merely because specific names are not mentioned in the report, then somebody has been cleared? I find that very difficult to accept.
Mr. Ofosu added that an audit is currently underway into possible double payments and inflated road contract costs under previous administrations, with details expected to be addressed by the roads minister during the government accountability series.
Tomorrow, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister will be there. Then on Thursday, the Finance Minister will go to Parliament to present the media budget. But that one has to percolate a bit, so we won't do it on Friday. But on Monday, the Attorney General will come and give a briefing on oral. And then next week, Wednesday, Friday, other ministers will come. So eventually, the Roads Minister will come and he will give a full briefing about his sector. I'm also, in fact, in the mid-year budget, look forward to on road construction and what government's commitment is to ensuring that we improve the conditions of roads across the length and breadth of this country. I know that there is actually a project or a program that seeks to rehabilitate roads in over 100 constituencies or districts across Ghana. But the Finance Minister will give flesh to it, and then the Roads Minister will eventually appear on the Government Accountability Series platform to shed further light on it.
That was the Minister for Government Communications, Felix Kwakye-Ofosu.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. advert is FDA approved.
Your family's health should never be a worry, no matter where you are in the world. Are you a Ghanaian in the diaspora, a foreign resident in Ghana, or a Ghanaian looking for the perfect health insurance plan for yourself or your family in Ghana? Then the Apex Ebusiapa health cover is what you need. A comprehensive health insurance plan to protect your loved ones. From hospital stays to life-saving treatments, we ensure quality healthcare at an affordable cost. Apex Ebusiapa health cover. You don't just send love home, you secure it. Visit Apex Health Insurance at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shashi East Legon, or call 0540-128-256 or 0501-683912. Apex Ebusiapa Health Plan. Global love, local care.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Damex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Biafe Akentin. Let's settle for the details. And more than 350,000 ounces of gold were sold to the Bank of Ghana in 2024 by member companies of the Ghana Chamber of Mines under the Domestic Gold Purchase Program. According to the Chamber, the initiative has played a critical role in shoring up the central bank's reserves and supporting the cedi's appreciation against the US dollar. Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Engineer Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, says the Chamber remains committed to supplying voluntary gold reserves to the Bank of Ghana to help stabilize the local currency.
The strength of the cedi currently is based on gold, predominantly based on gold. And it is also because as an industry, we have this agreement where we sold last year, we sold 358,218 ounces of gold to Bank of Ghana under the Domestic Gold Purchase Program. And we also continue to support the bank with voluntary forex and gold purchase initiative to boost the bank's reserve position, and that has strengthened our cedi. And so it is important that when we talk about all of this, we make mention of all of that and how that is supporting the industry.
That was Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Now, this month marks 60 years since Ghana adopted the cedi as its sole legal tender, replacing the British pound in July 1965. But 6 decades on, the cedi's credibility and journey has been far from stable. Despite recent gains against major trading currencies, many Ghanaians remain skeptical about the cedi's long-term strength, citing inflation, depreciation, and policy inconsistencies as persistent threats to its value. In this report, Citi Business News explores how public confidence in the local currency has evolved and what it means for the broader economy.
For 60 years, the Ghana cedi has driven trade, salaries and savings. In 2025, it has rebounded sharply, moving from one of the world's worst performing currencies to a top performer against the US dollar and the euro. Bank of Ghana data shows a 42% appreciation this year, nearly reversing the steep losses of 2022 and 2023. But how do Ghanaians view the Ghana cedi today?
The cedi hasn't really been stable in terms of meeting other demands when it comes to their strength or its power as compared to other currencies. We've had issues whereby it has actually drastically dropped, especially with the influx of inflation. That has really played a pivotal role in terms of actually having people to fold up in terms of businesses. So for the past 60 years, I can virtually and confidently say that as a business person, my confidence in the cedi will definitely drown.
Over a certain period of time, it has lost value. From last year, early last year through to the end
Until this government came in, the city wasn't doing really well, like we all know. But I don't know, because of the global thing, we have like city appreciating a little bit. It'd be a reasonable thing for anyone to do. Even though the dollar has come down a little bit, it still is like very reasonable that anyone would invest in the dollar.
Those were some members of the public expressing their views on the strength of the city. Meanwhile, Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Nelson Kujo Kwagbaji, has been explaining factors responsible for the instability of the city and how both fiscal and monetary authorities can stem the tide.
The Ghanaian cedi has depreciated in the past as a result of a confluence of so many factors, including chronic and persistent inflationary pressures, fiscal deficit and increasing public debt, trade imbalance, low foreign exchange reserve, and unfavorable sovereign ratings. It is interesting to note that anytime inflation goes up, the cedi depreciates. As for instance, in December 2022, inflation was at 54% and the cedi depreciated by more than 30%. Again, in December 2024, inflation was at 23.8%, whilst the cedi depreciated by more than 24%. And so anytime inflation goes up, the cedi begins to depreciate. Reason why this year, when inflation moderated to about 13.7% in the month of June, we have seen that the cedi has appreciated year to date to well over 42%. So these are the factors that actually accounted for the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi in the past 30 years.
Nelson Kujo Kwagbaji is Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital. Away from that, concept notes for the first 20 priority projects under the 24-hour economy policy have been completed. Feasibility studies are currently underway to make each initiative bankable and ready for investment, which is essentially a shift from policy design to implementation. Presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy, Guzi Tanos, made the announcement at a high-level China-Ghana business forum where he highlighted the government's commitments to attracting strategic capital for the 24-hour economy rollout.
With the presidential launch of the 24-hour economy program 2 weeks ago, our focus has moved from concept to implementation plan. We are building a portfolio of coordinated projects that will bring the program to life and deliver real value for Ghana and real returns for investors. We have completed concept notes for our first 20 priority projects and are now commencing feasibility studies that will make each one bankable and investment ready for your review. We are here today as Team Ghana to present some of the 24 plus projects to your esteemed community, which has a proven appetite and a track record for investment in Ghana.
Guzi Tano is presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy. Now, Minister for Labour, Employment and Jobs, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, is advocating for stronger public-private partnerships to develop a skilled and resilient construction workforce capable of absorbing Ghana's expanding youth labour force. He stressed that aligning industrial needs with labour market supply requires collaborative skills, development and hands-on training, particularly in the fast-growing construction sector. Dr. Pelpo made these remarks at the launch of recruiting of clever, enthusiastic team players as part of the 4th Ghana German Construction Day.
This is an important initiative in collaborating with the German construction partners. We are partners in the construction. Partners means that the expertise that go into the construction, human capacity, human ability are shared between the two countries. And in doing so, we share experiences. Sharing experiences means that we contribute in sending labor, they contribute in sending expertise, and we interrelate in manners that can mutually benefit the two of us. So it's very important for this ministry, my ministry, because of the need to create jobs, substantive jobs, jobs that will pay substantially. And so what we are doing now is to train the Ghanaian, give him capacity, build him up, and allow him to work in Germany for a while, and then come back to Ghana with those expertise. The arrangement, as I have seen, is very important and is well paying. And I can't wait to see Ghanaians go in a legally accepted manner, go and work in Germany, come back to Ghana, gain expertise, be able to establish on their own and function to build our economy.
That was Minister for Labour, Employment and Jobs, Dr. Rashid Pelpo. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejibi Biafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Tonight on Point Blank, the people of Ablekuma North finally have a representation in Parliament. Honorable Irabna Obin was sworn in today by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagby. Right Honorable. After that, or before the swearing in, the minority staged a walkout. One of the NPP MPs who walked out is the one representing the Kwapim North constituency, Honorable Sami Ewuku. My colleague Hansin Ajiman caught up with him and spoke to him about that walkout, plus the NPP's conference last weekend. Let's listen to that.
The New Patriotic Party has undergone a very serious exercise of accepting 54 motions out of 56 motions for the amendment of its constitution. We've caught up with a former youth organizer, former national organizer, and a member of parliament for Kwapim North, Sami Ewuku, to pick his views on some of the amendments. But before we do that, you were in Ablekuma North, you witnessed everything that happened. And today we saw something in Parliament where the minority had to walk out of the swearing in of the MP. Why do you have to stage a walkout? I mean, she's gone through an election, there was violence. You don't have evidence to tie her to the violence. Why do you have to walk out?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. We clearly believe that she's a product of a violent elections that left people maimed, that left people traumatized, and also that left us people severely beaten. The noisy silence of the law enforcement agencies gives us the impression that these operatives and those who acted in that manner, it gives us an impression that they had a tacit endorsement of government. Why? Because it is very strange that not a single act of condemnation had come from the quarters of the presidency. That
the vice president has condemned.
Well, we expect Mr. Mahama to do better. Again, we believe that the leadership of the NDC should also have completely condemned. When it happened, when the IOS was that they keep referring to happen, President Akufo-Addo set up a committee, a commission of inquiry, and since that, look, before IOS West by elections, we had that of Chereponi, under the NDs, which was violent. Few West, which was violent. Talensi by-election, which was also violent. Etiwa, Akwetia, and all those elections. Fast forward, then MPP also gets into government. This culture of retaliation and all produced Ayawaso West by-elections. President Akufo-Addo, in his wisdom, in the wisdom of government at that time, constituted a commission of inquiry with a distinguished judge, Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu of the Supreme Court, being on the panel, former IGP Patrick Kwati Champon being on the panel, Professor Kofi Abochi, law lecturer, also secretary to that commission. Afterwards, one of the recommendations was that we pass an anti-vigilantism act. The MPP saw through the motions, and eventually the president gave his assent. The National Peace Council conducted several engagements between these two parties for us to sign on to that. The MPP did its part of the bargain. We consented to it and committed to it, disbanded all these groups. On hindsight, many people even believe that the MPP should not have listened to the Peace Council, because today they've been also very quiet and very silent about these developments in Ablekuma North. We are also surprised that the police administration, despite the publication of these faces across the country, they have not even been able to even arrest one out of the many. And
what is a walkout supposed to achieve?
Well, we believe that the NDC's candidate who was on the ballot, the elections that produced her victory is a tainted victory. And we believe that is an election that really had blood on the hands of even the organizers of the polls. And it's the principle we were raising. Not just her person or not her person, but the principle of that we don't want to be party to an association or an alliance that was tainted with blood.
You're going to be with her in Parliament at least for the next 3.5 years. What is going to be the minorities' attitude towards her? Are you always going to stage a walkout when she's doing her parliamentary business on the floor?
Today the minority made a statement through his walkout that we believe that a lot must be done to arrest these perpetrators and bring this violent conduct to book. This was just 19 polling stations. In Akwetia, we're going to have a large-scale election. And if we do not nip these things in the bud, it makes it difficult for the MPP to also continue to convince our supporters that let's still continue to trust in the state security apparatus. That is the difficulty that the leadership of the MPP and for us as members of parliament continue to have with the support base of the party.
Let's get to the party's delegates conference. In the aftermath of it, I mean, you're from the Eastern region. Yeah. Delegates came from the Eastern region and specifically from your constituency. What has been the sort of feedback you received so far? Has it achieved certain even unintended purposes?
Well, I think it's energized the base of the party. Let me be very honest with you. Some of us really knew that it was going to be a successful conference, but I think that they was beyond successful. Let me commend the leadership of the New Patriotic Party, the acting chairman, the general secretary, the organizer, the youth leader, the national coordinator, and the rest of the team for putting together a spectacular event. It was orderly, the security-wise was on point. The production that day, it wasn't a busy podium where you normally will have people getting in and out of it. The ambience, the atmosphere was also charged. So you could clearly see that the delegates were happy to once again bond, reach out to each other, give each other a hug, and then with the determination that we were down, but we were not out, and we are not out, and looking forward to 2028. As a political party, you lose an election, you win an election. When you lose, you dust off, you get ready again to begin another culture and journey. The feedback I get from my executives who were part of the event, and that's of some delegates I've interacted with that of excitement. They were ecstatic, and they were happy to have been part of the conference. They were also satisfied with the resolutions passed as well, as well as that of the amendment proposals that were put before them, and they believe that it's sound.
We'll come to the specifics of that, but has it ended there since they went back home? Have they got back to you if things have changed? Have they been able to use the momentum, as you say, that they've gathered from here to do anything back home?
They have, and many of them believe that with hard work and determination, 2028 is possible. And I'm excited that they have a positive mindset looking into the future. The next few months, obviously, are expected to be turbulent. And I'm saying this without caution because you have political candidates. The party obviously is preparing to have its presidential primaries and to select or elect a new leader to lead us into 2028. And it's a choice that we have to make. I always say, I am clear in my mind, I'm fortified in my belief that Dr. Bawumia will make a good president and that we should support him to make it. Others will disagree with me. It's a question of choice.
Albeit successful, and particularly, as you've mentioned, Dr. Bawumia, some believe that the optics were skewed in the favor of Dr. Bawumia. He was the only person allowed to go to the podium out of those who have given an indication of contesting. And they believe, particularly the team of Kennedy Japan, says that it was skewed or tilted to give him a certain advantage.
Well, I'm not too sure. I've been part of this party's processes for some time. I spent over 11 and a half years at the party's headquarters, even as a young man, from Deputy Communications Director to National Youth Leader to National Organizer. What I do know is post every election at the next National Annual Delegates Conference, the immediate past presidential candidate is allowed to also say some few words and also to thank party people who were with him in the trenches. He was on the ballot. So even though he's a former presidential candidate, we didn't have the two former presidents around. And your immediate past presidential candidate and former vice president, in all fairness and honesty, the fact that there's an impending election doesn't negate the fact that he was once a vice president, and it doesn't negate the fact that he was once your presidential candidate in the immediate past election. As to it being skewed and of this, I'm not too sure, because all the candidates were also mentioned in loud manner by the organizer as well. So by the MC, and also acknowledged their presence. I also saw the entry of these various aspirants as well, and some of them also even met these delegates the night before.
The gestures, it pushed to them that, well, this was something he knew was going to do, and his team perhaps planned it. I mean, he did a love symbol, he did "We Are Together" symbol.
You're against the love symbol?
I'm not against it, but I'm saying that
the togetherness symbol.
No, I'm saying that because he's going to read his speech. Why not walk and go and read the speech?
One of the things that the party was looking at that day was unity in rebuilding, rebuilding our party in unity and also our values and all. So any gesture that promoted peace, unity, togetherness for me was a good one. And I believe that I've heard the other aspirants, the Honorable Kennedy Japan, also speaking about the party's rank and file unifying. I've heard the Honorable Kwabena Ejeye Japan, engineer. I've heard that of Dr. Yawase Duchum, all speaking about love, unity, and togetherness. So maybe what Dr. Bawumia did was not just to also talk about it, but also demonstrated it and did showcase the gestures. And I think it was a good one. I'm not too sure which of his team members planned it, but I'm not convinced that anything of that was planned.
54 out of 66 motions were accepted. Let's begin with those which were.
Before I even come to that, respectfully, I would like to use your platform to make a call. I've been a youth leader before. I've been a national organizer before. Winning an election is not an easy task, and the MPP must rally round the flag. If you are supporting Dr. Bawumia, promote his values, what he has for the party base and the Ghanaian people, and also his proven track record and why we should vote for him. If you're supporting the Honorable Kennedy Japan, tell us what Ken too can do, espouse his values, his strength as well, and what the plans that he has as well for the party base and the Ghanaian people. If you're supporting Kwabena Japan, do the same. If you're supporting Dr. Duchum, do the same. I do not subscribe, and it's a personal conviction. I do not subscribe that we have to deliberately weigh somebody down, smear the candidate before you can project your candidate. That is not a brainer, because it's an internal contest. When we win, we must come together in unity to fight this formidable opponent that is ruthless to the extent that even institutions of state stand at risk of being undermined by this current government. And so the MPP, we need every arm, every leg, every limb, every ear, eye, nose, every part of the human body put together. And this is a passionate appeal. And I'm saying
Dr. Bawumia made a similar appeal, but can this be beyond the appeal? How can it be enforced? He actually even said the party should crack the whip if need be.
Yes, that is why I'm saying that the party too must be firm on these matters. If any of us go wrong, the party should be tough on any of us as well. Because look, when we are done, we have to reach out. I'm supporting Bawumia, I've told you. In the event, in the unlikely event that my candidate of choice, Dr. Bawumia, does not emerge flag bearer, I have to also work with the other candidate and his team that won. And the same goes to the other candidates as well. If the candidate that you are also supporting doesn't make it, remember we have a party called the MPP that has elected a new candidate. It must also now come on board for us to work for an MPP and Ghanaian victory. So that is why this is very passionate to me. I don't think it's a brainer for us to be attacking ourselves. I don't think it's a brainer for us to be deliberate in weighing anybody down, smearing the person. Because whatever we are saying in this process is what your opponent will package and then also sell to attack your candidate when eventually the person emerges. So this is a passionate appeal. Now to your...
Let's get to the specifics of the motions. Yeah. The youth age limit of 35, yeah. I mean, there was unanimous, and even before the Frank Davis, who's the chairman of the amendment committee and director of legal affairs, even had a hard time reading out the motion. But 35 years is the international age limit that has been used in defining who a youth is. Why won't a party that is trying to be current, progressive, align with such international standard?
Well, we'll get there. But for me, as a former youth leader, I think the 39 is okay. You still have strong people committed serving as your youth leaders, 36, 37, 38, 39. Still have fire in their belly, and these are versatile people on the ground. I think that asking that we reduce it from 39 to 35 for me adds nothing, because it still doesn't reduce the 18, because if you are 18 you reach the voting age.
If you care to share, what age were you when you became youth organizer?
That's a good one. I think that I was just around 30 or so.
And you're one of the vibrant youth organizers that the NPP has seen. There are those who believe that at that age, close to 40, some of the persons who will fill that position may lose touch with the many young people. So why not get somebody who is actually within their age bracket?
I was lucky to have served as youth leader at a very young age. Yes, I was dynamic, and I, together with my colleagues, we produced a president and an MPP victory in 2016 with a considerable level of mobilization across the country. That doesn't mean that those who were 36, 37, 38 did not also help guide me in that process. My sense is that if it's not broken, you don't fix it. And that's why I keep saying that, yes, it can be 38, 39, but also can still help you on the ground. It's up to the party delegate to decide whether they should elect a 35-year-old, a 34-year-old, a 30-year-old, 38-year-old. It's a decision for the party.
Now, we've seen that within the amendment...
It was shut down in the 39, but I personally voted against it.
We've seen that there's a motion to state who the leader of the party is, the national chairman. Is it that the MPP has always been leaderless, or is it just a matter of not being in blue?
I think it's been, let me tell you, it's been I want to choose my words well, but this is a party where people normally say it's a book-long party. It's a party that the language is always key in the constitution of the party. The NPP always avoided the use of a leader in the party's constitution. So we have reached a stage where we believe that we have to draw the distinction. Who is a presidential candidate and who is the leader of the party? Let me be honest with you. The presidential candidate is elected for just the election. He doesn't have a 4-year tenure. He's not part of the party structures. So if he's elected 18 months to the general elections, that 18 months he is the presidential candidate. And if you are in opposition, the leader of the opposition, as far as the contest is concerned. If you go into a general elections and you win, you climb up the stairs to become president of the republic. Secondly, if you are elected national chairman, you have a 4-year term, unlike the presidential candidate. So we are currently in a state where the former presidential candidate is no longer the leader of the party because there's no general election this year. The national chairman, because the constitution does not expressly state that he's the leader of the party, is also then going to have difficulties as to which shot to call and which one he cannot call. So I think that the distinction for me is apt.
But something that goes without saying, that the national chairman is the leader of the party.
Well, so then you have to state it if you are doing the distinction. And one of the other amendment that also came up was also removing the president from the steering committee. I think many people did not understand it. For me, I don't think it's a bad decision. The president always also gets to hear what is happening. This is particularly so. My experience at the party headquarters, and it's not a fault of President Dufour. Let me be very honest with you. When I served as youth leader, when I served as national organizer, when we were in opposition, it was a different matter. Because at that time, the presidential candidate had time to always be attending steering committee. In government, Nanado also made time to be attended. But the difficulty that most of the time we had at steering committee was that you always had to look at the schedule of the president to plan steering committee, and can sometimes even delay the calling of these meetings.
So it's not a matter of a power clash, because it seems as though the removal of the president is to avoid a power clash.
That's not how I saw it. This is personally from my observation and unbiased observation and experience.
I think it's more to give that latitude to the steering
party, latitude and the effective running of the party. Mind you, the steering committee are the managers of the party, the day-to-day running of the party. The president, when we are in office, becomes a member of NEC and National Council. When he's a presidential candidate as well, he's a member of the NEC and Council. Steering committee acts on the recommendations and the orders of NEC. Whatever steering committee is doing is implementing decisions of NEC and Council.
But do NEC and Council always give the how?
Yes. They always provide clarity and direction as to what.
So there's little discretion to steering committee.
Even implementation, steering committee must then tease out how to go about it. But clearly the orders are always given. I don't see this as an attack on a presidential candidate or a future president. But I believe that if you want the party to be able to run effectively, the party should be able to be clear and distinct from government.
But they've also put the question about the practicality of this. Not necessarily relating to the steering committee, but creating who the leader is. I mean, it also boils down to personality. Yeah. I mean, if you have a presidential candidate like Nana Akufo-Addo, everybody knows him, and an organizer himself, he is very strong on his convictions. Yeah. It will be difficult to say that somebody is a leader ahead of him.
Well, but the laws does not take retrospective effect. We are moving on, yeah, and that is why you're talking about post-Nanado era as well.
But the scenario is that if you have a candidate like Nanado,
but clearly the party's constitution is supreme, and if the party clearly designates that the national chairman is the leader of the party, is the leader of the party, until otherwise also decided by the party.
But what really can you do to a presidential candidate who, despite the constitution stating that the national chairman is the leader, but chooses to act as the leader.
You can't choose to act. It is a party of laws.
He has more political power, more...
I don't disagree with you on that. But what I'm saying is that the party is a machinery. The running of the party is an organization. The presidential candidate is elected to serve on the party's architecture and lead you into an election. He can be elected a year before election. He can be elected 18 months before election. He is elected for a purpose, and that is for the impending elections. When the elections are done, he is no longer the presidential candidate. If he wins, he claims to become president. If he doesn't, the national chairman still continue to run the party until the party chooses another leader for you to come and help lead us into an election.
I seem to be getting from you that in practice, it may get to a point where the national chairman will have to give way for the presidential candidate to take charge.
Well, not to take charge, but when he's elected, he's the one who is leading us into the election. The national chairman is not the opposition leader when you are in opposition. The national chairman is the leader of your party. The opposition leader is the voice of the minority and opposition, whilst the biggest political, the largest minority party is in opposition.
Now, talking about organization, we've seen attempts to increase the polling station executives to 7, now have an electoral area executive committee contrasted to the electoral area coordinator. As somebody who's been a national organizer of the party before, how important are these increments to the organizational capabilities of the party?
Well, I think these are significant increment, and it's a good direction for the party to take, as it giving many more people an opportunity to be part of the decision-making process and also the running of the party. That's even more important for me, the running of the party too at the base. You can elect a coordinator who doesn't even live there sometimes, by issue of jobs, transfer and all. So when it's just one person running an entire electoral area, it can be problematic. But where it's a committee, you have a chairman, you have a secretary, you have an organizer, you have this in an electoral area. At least at every point in time, you have somebody you want to talk to, somebody that you want to get to address your concerns. Another example is at the polling station level. We're increasing it to add additional for them to look at our issue of elections, research, and all those things. Communication and all. So I think these additions are good. The party, from what I get from the recommendations of the Constitution Review Committee, is the party working towards, I repeat, working towards a one man, one vote in future. So these are good steps to be taken and working towards a broader vision.
But talking about organization, we know that sometimes just at the top, they have officers that they deal with. They have their base that they deal with. And do they always deal with the constituency executives, electoral area executives, polling station executives?
I'm not too sure what your question is.
So my question is that as national organizer, when you had to do something in an electoral area, did you always use the electoral area coordinator, or you had your own boys who you trust to do some of these things for you?
The structures of the party. You work with the region, the constituency, the electoral area, and the polling station. One of the things that you also must do is always to cross-check whatever information is coming to you. Apart from me, then being an organizer working with the structures, I always had people to that whatever information you give me from the constituency, I get somebody to also double check for me.
So from your experience, there's no issue of you've increased, but then the upper structure may not even use them?
Well, they will use them, but I will urge the upper structure to also sometimes cross-check the information they get from the ground. The information can be skewed.
Do you have any practical example?
You have a lot of these practical examples, and I have shared with my colleagues who took over from me, because sometimes you can send somebody to go do a specific job for you in a constituency. The constituency to organizer, then we'll get our polling station people to do it. You have to make sure that the monitoring and feedback is always effective. And I don't like surprises, so I always make sure I take all the boxes. I don't walk into a meeting without knowing the agenda.
Having a casual look at the motions, it's looking like the party is saying that we have not been dealing with our parliamentary caucus very well in time past, and we need to strategize on how to maximize the skill base with the parliamentary caucus. During your time as national organizer and youth organizer, what was the sort of relationship between the party and the parliamentary caucus?
Well, I think it was good. It was good. We had cordial, great relationship with the parliamentary party. But the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement. So anything that a party seeks to do to improve upon its relations with the parliamentary party, it's always a good move for me.
The voice of Sami Ewuku, NPP Member of Parliament for Ikuape North. He was being interviewed by Hansen Ajimai. And that'll be it for Eyewitness News tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Up next, the Citi sports team is in studio. Yao Eje Minta and Gabi Milito. Gabi Milito. Gabi, what's your name? Gabi Milito Ofe.
Gabriel Isaac Ofe.
He has such a nice name.
Yes.
No, hold on. Your microphone
is Gabi Ofe.
Your microphone is
Yes,
off.
the microphone is off.
Yeah, what's his name?
His full name is Gabriel Isaac Ofe.
You know the thing about real names, so 2 days ago, 3 days ago, there's a poet. Maybe you guys, I don't know if you know him or he's called Nana Asasi.
Oh yeah, you know Nana Asasi.
Yeah, Nana Asasi texted me, and he was inviting me to something.
Yeah.
And he wrote his real name on the invitation card. So I replied him. I said, "But why are you inviting me to somebody else's event?" And he said, "That's his name." And I read his real name. Like it has nothing to do with Nana Asasi. So Milito's true name doesn't sound like Milito, but his name is
Gabriel Isaac Ofe.
Isaac, come.
Yeah, but Ike.
Isaac, come. So you are Gabriel and Isaac.
Yes.
And Milito is what?
It's part of the name.
And Ofe.
Yes.
You people are here for what? What's happening? They say finally we are hoping for something.
Yeah, so it's the...
I think you should use this microphone. Your microphone is
okay. It's the semi-finals of the Women's African Cup of Nations. Ghana's Black Queens currently taking on the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco. Okay. The second semis, Nigeria already through to the final. So anybody who progresses from this game, Ghana, Morocco will meet Nigeria in the final, hoping to win it for the very first time on the part of the Black Queens.
In 19 years.
Well, yes, in 19 years. We've been to 3 finals. 1998 we were there, 2002 we were there, 2006 we were there, and we've all lost against Nigeria in all these finals.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we are going against Nigeria.
Yeah, so they're waiting for us.
It will be a nice competition if we
Derby.
Yeah, it will be really nice, but you see, Ghana, we don't want to hope for them. From
Well, if they win it, it's actually a dance on the Black Stars.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be like the Queens have done what the Kings could not do. Yeah, that would be that's going to be
and Jordan wished them well and reached to this game. So
I've already written my tweets. So what the Kings could not do, the Queens have done.
Queens have done
She a monkey, woo, a lion, woo. That's what they say.
Don't do that.
The pussy cat.
No. I don't know that.
Whoa.
Don't do that, Thunder.
You don't have children. That's why I don't know this thing. That's what they do in nursery school now.
You're shading us now. Clearly telling the whole world that we are.
But you don't have children, so you know that.
Well, we'll have this conversation somewhere else.
So Black Stars, Lion,
Sana, let's go. It's
Yao Minta and Gabi Ofe, handing over to them for that game coming up next.